Thousands of people are taking part in anti-right-wing demonstrations. That's alongside the traditional May Day workers' rallies that take place every year. And National Front members are also holding their annual gathering in the French capital. Thousands of police and security forces have been deployed to keep the far right and far left apart. 5 of the big unions have urged their members not to vote for Marine Le Pen, although only 2 have endorsed her rival. Well, Sarah Morris is at a rally in Paris where people are protesting against Marine Le Pen. And Sarah, obviously many rallies taking place in France today. Tell us what's going on where you are.
Well, we've just witnessed a very noisy, very loud and very big rally happening here. The group is actually combined, so we're seeing an anti-Marine Le Pen rally marching alongside the traditional May Day rally. That's the Labour Day rally where people have traditionally in France and across the world marched for workers' rights. So thousands of people have just gone past us. Those who were carrying placards against Marine Le Pen, many of them were also carrying the EU flag. Of course, she's anti the EU, and many of them in that particular rally were saying how they wanted France to remain in the EU. Some of those that we spoke to said they'd come out to the streets today because they are worried that Marine Le Pen can still win this election. Even though she is now behind in the polls, they are concerned with a week to go. She does have all the momentum, and they say she doesn't represent the France that they want to live in. So we've just witnessed that rally, but if a bit further down the street, surely there have been some clashes with police. A small group, about 150 people, have been cordoned off, and they're the ones who are clashing with police. We understand tear gas has been fired, stun grenades also being used in that clash, if you like to call it that. We don't know who they are. These people are mostly covered in black, which makes it very difficult to understand what exactly they are protesting against. But people covered in black do often take part in these rallies here in France, and they've often in the past been associated with anarchist groups. But that is at this stage a small part of the rally. For the most part, it has been peaceful.
And this is the backdrop against which Emmanuel Macron is going to be addressing his supporters in Paris. Now, he's been talking about a few things, reforming the EU, for example. How's that going down with French voters?
Well, this is certainly very interesting. Some are accusing him really of playing catch-up. As I said, he is ahead in the polls, but over the past week or so, he lost about 6–7%. He has managed to get one of those percentage points back just today. But, of course, Marine Le Pen is very, very strong on her anti-EU stance. She's offering a referendum on membership of the EU. She wants to also take France out of the Eurozone, so stop using the euro and return to using the franc. And Macron has seen here that there is a wave across this country of people who are disenfranchised with Europe and the Europe project. He's tapping into that, of course. He is very pro-Europe. He says he will continue with that stance, but that the European Union does need to reform to work for the country, in this case France. Interestingly, he's holding his rally later this afternoon. We've already heard from Marine Le Pen. She says he basically represents no change at all, that he is part of the establishment. He's also elite, of course. He's a former banker. She says he's backed by all the old tried and tested politicians who she says are no longer relevant. We heard from her at a rally this morning where she promised to be the candidate for those who are disenfranchised by the current political system, but also for those in the lower socio-economic statuses and those who've had enough, I guess, of the status quo.